And we are live and we are back. Let's go. I'm Cory, your host, one half of the Cory Full of podcast. And I am back like I never left with another installment of Wealth Wednesdays here on the Cory Full of podcast. We discuss health and wealth, finance and fitness, and everything in between. And we want to make sure you save more and save less and keep making better your best. Yes, yes. However, my co-host Jordan, when he went on paternity leave, I started these Wealth Wednesdays where we get straight to the finance information. I think that's going to be the intro instead of like going in depth to that. Jordan is not here, but with no filler, we get straight to the finance topics. And I know y'all see the topic of today's video. We're talking about the Gen Z and millennials getting about this workforce. Now, this article may or may not have dropped in January. But like I said, I'm catching up on all these older articles. And I think the one thing too, when I was skimming through it to see exactly how long the article was, it might be good to see how well or lack, or not well, right? How good or bad these articles are at quote unquote predicting the future, right? This is a forward thinking article, talking about millennials and Gen Z leaving the workforce. And, this is back in January of this year. So let's see what has transpired in short in the first half of this year. All right. But again, before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, share and subscribe to the YouTube algorithm. Yes, share and subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube algorithm. Give your soul away to alphabet. Like, share, and subscribe. Please leave those rating reviews on the podcast platforms as well. And I did a little bit of research because y'all know what we love talking about on the Cory Full of podcast, and especially what Wednesday, the student loans. Still waiting on that. Apparently, they have ruled, but it has not leaked yet because of the abortion situation. They ruled, but they hadn't released it yet. But it got leaked that they were going to rule against Roe v. Wade. So we'll see what happens with the student loans. It's already, been coming out that the Republican Party, regardless, is looking to push back as far as Congress. The Republicans there looking to push back already on what Biden's trying to do, I guess, regardless of what or how, should I say, not what, but how the Supreme Court rules. So remember, June 30th is almost here. All right, time flies. I mean, as you can imagine, I still vividly remember doing that student loan episode, and we're gonna. What's episode 39? Today's the 16th because I record these on Tuesdays now. Technically, what are we 4 weeks? We less than 10 episodes out from talking about the student loan situation and how you looking. I already told you. I've already said this before. Already start adjusting I would start making your payments now, but start adjusting your budget, at least if you can for May, we're already halfway through May. But at least for June, your June budget should already have your student loan payment baked into it. Now, whether or not you decide to make that payment or not, that's up to you, but you should not be spending that student loan money. How much is your payment? I don't know. I don't have student loans. I'm not sure exactly what the websites look like. It's probably still showing you you owe $0.00 and you're getting charged 0% interest. But if you recall what your last student loan payment was, which is over 3 years now, this is insane. You're required to remember. If you remember what your student loan payment was in February of 2020, which might have been the last time some of you made a payment. Some of you even longer than that because y'all been in the deferment, not making the payments. But if you can remember what it was, go ahead and bake that in there. And I recommend to start making your student loan payments now. That would be my suggestion. But all right, y'all, we're going to get straight into it. Y'all see the topic of this video, Gen Z and millennials leaving the workforce. And y'all know we're going to good old faithful. We're going to CNBC. I think it's just funny that I'm about to talk about this. I'm like, leaving the workforce, I'm out here trying to get more jobs. I'm trying to get another job. I'm trying to make as much money as possible. This damn moving I did, I'm trying to buy a house and I had to move twice unintentionally. I gotta get that money back. All right, Gen Z and millennials. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Yep, because it's CNBC good. Gen Z and millennials are leading the big quit in 2023, while nearly 70% plan to leave their jobs. Now, I may be part of the 70% technically because I got another job, right? This account, if I left my job, but I got another job. So maybe I am part of the 70%. And I was, going into 2023, I was like, the money got to look a certain way. And if it's not, it's time to get another bag. But again, it's published Wednesday, January 18th, 2023. So, wow, it's almost 4 months old on the dot. This is by Morgan Smith. Thank you. First time listeners, if you haven't, If it's your first time listening, the authors of these articles always give me hell as far as their names, but shout out to Morgan Smith, and I guess her at is Morgan's at is the word Smith M. Also, too, don't sue me, sue your mama. This is for entertainment purposes only. Neither Jordan nor myself are finance or fitness professionals. Please do your own research. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. All right, here we go. One of the things that I don't like about recording after work is that my brain is zapped. Here we go. Almost 4.2 million people voluntarily. I'm not well, yeah, I did. Okay, wait. I did voluntarily leave my job, right? Yes, voluntary or involuntary termination. Left their jobs in November. This is November 2022. 4.2 million people, making the 18th straight month of record-breaking quits in the U.S. See, I don't view it as quitting. I guess I quit my job. I didn't quit. I resigned. I had a letter of resignation, an email technically, but I resigned. I didn't quit. I got a new job, and my current job wouldn't let me, keep them based off, what we agreed to for my working schedule. And those, if I could still have my other job and they still pay me when I get paid, but I had to work less, then, who wouldn't do that? I have no issue having 2-3 jobs at a time. Okay, record-breaking quits 18 straight months in a row. And according to new research, even more Americans are planning to switch jobs soon. Okay, so I am in the 70%. Oh my goodness. With younger employees leading the wave. More than half of U.S. workers, 61% are considering leaving their jobs in 2023. A new report from LinkedIn has found. Look at LinkedIn getting that data, noting that a higher percentage of Gen Z, defined as LinkedIn ages between 18 and 25, and millennial ages is 26 to 41. Shout out to millennials. Workers are planning to call it quits more than any other generation. Okay, December, LinkedIn and census-wide surveyed more than 2,000. Again, I love people say information anecdotal. We in this number, the 70% number, only talking to 2,000 people. That's crazy. That's what they get to for the 40% of people can afford $1,000, $400, $500 merch, whatever it is. They don't talk to that many people. I remember Family Feud survey says we top 100. All right, about the professional plans for the new year. Of those respondents, right, 72% of Gen Zers and 66% of millennials, right, said they were contemplating a career change in the next 12 months. Not a career. I didn't change my career. I had a new job in my career, compared to just 55% of Gen Xers. That's still a lot. That's over half of Gen Xers and 30% of baby boomers not getting a job. They're about to retire, or have already. 58 to 76. Almost all the baby boomers are at that retirement age. It's 59 and a half. Okay, recession. Recession fears won't stop the youngest generation of the workforce from job hopping. Why would it? You gotta get some more money if it's out there for you. Millennials have a long-standing reputation for job hopping, even though past research has pointed out that their job tenure is no shorter than that of Gen X workers. So what does that mean? How we have a reputation of job? Y'all say y'all lied. Y'all have lied about it then, basically. That's the media, right? Since we have the same tenure as Gen Xers. Or in the short, y'all should have said Gen Xers job hop. Anyways, nevertheless, job hopping is a practice that's become increasingly popular over the past 2 years by virtue of persistently tight labor market. This has translated to ample opportunities for workers who can double or even triple their salaries by changing jobs. Yes, I agree. If you want to get more money, the easiest thing to do is change jobs. Now, I would say this. One of the main reasons that I would say millennials that switch jobs is that back in the day, the big thing was the pension benefit. All right, most jobs don't give out pensions anymore. And so what are you staying at a company for if they have the exact same benefit? If every company, in short, has the same benefits, right? They pay you some type of wage, right? They have medical, dental, vision. They have 401k or 403b, whatever you're in, right? And a lot of more companies now offering the Roth as well, Roth 401k option. The main difference is going to be quote unquote how good the benefits are, because every company's medical insurance is different. But outside of that, if everything's relatively the same, and relatively the same being, medical insurance costs a lot now, welcome to America, you might as well get more money so you can offset that medical expense. The insurance is still going to be the same. That's not something, it's not like your 401k, your contributions increase because it's percentage based, as you increase your income. Your medical expenses, as far as your insurance, that's going to be the same. If it's $100 a month, let's say it's $50 every time you get paid twice a month, then if you go make, another 10, 20,000, whatever, 30,000, double your income, it's less of a hit for you. Right. So, I mean, that's simple. If anybody wants to know why millennials switch, there's nothing that differentiates the jobs and why you should stay. Because back in the day, let's say everybody offered a pension, why would I go and lose my pension? Right? I got the time, I got my clock starting, right? Especially being Maryland, DMV area, people work for the federal government. All right, get that pension clock started, right? But if there's no pension clock, and since I can, it's very easy now to roll over your 401k into a rollover IRA, or you can roll over a 401k. More and more companies allowing you to roll an old employer's 401k into your new one at your new employer. Like, what is the purpose of staying if there's more money out there for you? And the jump can be almost, you can double it. I haven't doubled before, but I've gotten I've gotten close to 100%. It is not that hard to do if you're obviously in the field where you can, scale your income that way. All right, and so this translated to ample opportunities for workers. Yeah, okay, double and triple their salaries. Triples, if you're tripling your salary, you're probably well under, you're making 30, 40K. It's hard to, go from 150 to 450. I mean, if you're doing that, then you messed up taking that 150 job. As for Gen Zers, many of whom started their careers in fractured hybrid or remote work environments, yeah, at the height of the pandemic. If I'm Gen Z, going into the office has to be crazy. Some Gen Z people didn't even experience, all of a full senior year of high school. They got to be tripping talking about bringing them to work. They're in an experimental phase where they're still figuring out what they want out of a job. Yeah, because going to work is probably crazy to them. Karen Kimbrough, chief economist at LinkedIn, tells CNBC Make It. But they're more passionate about finding a job that aligns with their personal values, and they're confident that switching jobs will help them get there, Kimbrough adds. There's not much that sets this lady anticipated quitting spree apart from earlier exodus, right defined, right, great resignation, at least so far, okay. Main reason Gen Zers and millennials are considering switching jobs haven't changed. Higher compensation, right, improved work-life balance, which is not a thing. Because in short, as you move up in your career, you likely are going to take on more responsibility, not less. Opportunities, right, for career growth, flexible work arrangements. That's the benefit of growing in your career. You got more equity. You can go to the table from a hiring standpoint, so you're better in a better position, to have weight when you're talking about fixing. When I say fixing your schedule, but making a flexible schedule you want. Right. So those are all the top ranking priorities. Flexible schedule, career growth, right? Career growth and higher compensation. I want to make more money, right? If I'm not growing in my career, but my income is, and your ability not to keep a job but get a new job, right? That's the true security in a job. Not job security is, not your ability not to get fired, but your ability to get hired. What's the issue? Even with the possible recession on the horizon, Kimbrough expects that Gen Zers and millennials will continue to quit and change jobs at elevated rates in the months ahead. Yeah, someone who did go through this, you have everyone's review might not be at the end of the year, but look, money talks. And if you can go use your exact same skill set somewhere else, and they're going to give you tens of $1,000s more than where you're currently at, and everything else relatively the same, the benefits are the same, yada yada. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you leave? And my previous employer, my 401k match was 4%, and my current one is 3%, but it's not a match. So regardless if I put in money or not, they give me 3%, which 1% hit is what it is. But the flexibility, because if I ever need to, which I wouldn't, but if I were to take away from putting money into my 401k, at least I know I'm still getting a 3% in there. Versus my previous employer, I just get the 0% if I were to drop down, right? And then the benefits are what they are. Every job is different as far as what the insurance covers. So to each their own on what you need. I'm in a fortunate situation where I'm healthy, so I just take I take the highest deductible. I don't go to the doctor. I just go once a year when I do my physical, which I need to schedule. Men and women, make sure y'all schedule your physicals, right? Go ahead and get checked, but some of y'all need to get checked for other reasons. But regardless, it is what it is from that standpoint. The family plan, that costs a lot of money, so it kind of just is what it is from an insurance standpoint. So that's usually a wash when you're comparing companies. Every now and then, you're gonna find a company where they offer great benefits as far as what they offer from an insurance standpoint and the cost of it. But a lot of times, it's usually going to be a wash from an insurance standpoint. But if you do need a particular insurance, then you might have to take a hit on the pay cut side, because if you can't afford, if you have a lapse in insurance, or your insurance is good enough, that's going you really going to need more money. So that's just something to be aware of too when you're looking at job hopping if you're in the market. Gen Zers and millennials want to work on their own terms. Also, too, the one thing about getting a new job or looking forward is that hopefully, career growth, but you've improved. And so when you go to the next interview, right, say you get a new job, 2, 3 years, whatever it is, you're more prepared for that next one. So you might just be able, not that the job is better, but you're able to get better terms and agreements from this company. And obviously, as time goes on, you know what you do and don't like, what you're looking for, what you're not looking for, but you're actually more prepared, what questions to ask in the interview. Cause it's kind of, where you start at is where you start at. And it might be you don't like your current job because you didn't do the interview. The only part you did well in the interview process was enough to get the job. But all the other benefits, income, right? Flexible work schedule. What you even look at from a team standpoint. You might have been in a situation where you didn't properly assess, the personality. I got what is it? How to Win Friends and Influence People is somewhere back there. But you didn't, you had an interview with your hiring manager, even maybe some of the team members that you work with or some of the senior top people. You didn't really gauge their personalities well during the interview. So now you had a company and you realize, oh, I don't like these people. I don't like your manager. It's like, well, do a better job with that. And there's some things, that you learn to look for as time goes on. So you might not more so get a better job. You are better at the vetting process. Is that, everyone's a contractor. All of us sign some type of contract. It might not be like a full-blown contractor, but all of us sign some type of contract with your employer. And you especially if you live in Maryland. If Jordan was here, he would tell you it's a fire at will state. But anytime in Maryland, the employee or the employer can terminate the agreement and they don't have to give a heads up, nothing like that. Now you have to do like from a 2-week standpoint, they'll say, if you want to get hired back here. But in short, you can have standards that you need your employer to meet. And a lot of times those people's standards usually from an income standpoint. And it gets to the point where it's like, hey, I can literally do the same thing I'm doing now, which is what I'm doing. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing more stuff now. But I didn't have a different code stack, nothing. I didn't do anything different. I'm just at a different company, exact same skill set. And I got more money. And it was, well, not gonna say that on here, but that's what millennials and Gen Zers are looking at from a job standpoint. It's like, well, you guys, I don't get a pension. So by staying here, if you're not, one of these big, Fortune 500 companies where you're getting like stock options or RSUs, restricted stock units, you're not getting any benefit from that standpoint. They're just giving you a salary. They're just giving you a salary and then medical benefits. Like that's it. And so just get up out of there if it's time for you to do that. Gen Zers and millennials want to work on their own terms. I've already said this before. I did not read these articles ahead of time. This was literally what I just kind of talked about. While it's too soon to tell what kind of impact another wave of quits among the youngest generation of the workforce would have on the labor market, other recent research can give us a confident forecast. Some industries stand to lose younger employees faster than others. Gen Zers and millennials are particularly eager to leave some public-facing industries, including healthcare, retail, and education, according to the Deloitte. Shout out to Deloitte, one of the big dogs. Global 2022 Gen Z and Millennial Survey, which was published in May 2022 and polled more than 14,000 Gen Zers. My goodness. In addition to over 7,400 millennials from 46 countries. Wow. That was over 20,000 people. Those who quit without a new job in hand are likely to find a new role with reduced hours through temporary gig or part-time work or decided to start their own business. See, this is where I wanted to see what this article is about. See, I didn't quit my job and just say like, I'm going to go part-time or something like that. No, I had another job lined up and I knew I couldn't keep both jobs. Like my current, I wouldn't be able to do the type of work I do. I literally would not be able to do it. But see, I'm not in this boat. See, I had another job lined up. Okay. Starting their own business. They're not starting their own business. They're just doing illegal paperwork. So by definition, they start their own business. Younger generations are the most likely to aspire to be their own boss, with 76% of Gen Z and millennials saying that this is a goal. I'm going to take a break. Hold on. I didn't know they was going to continue to go into this. Okay. Yes. Shout out to Gen Z and millennials. You want to be your own boss? No. That's the part where it's like, yes, I'm not like fully in this article. I might be by definition, 30,000 foot view, but when you read into it, this is not me. All right, saying the goal compared to 63% of who are Gen X and older according to the September 2022 Microsoft report, which surveyed 20,000 people in 11 countries. Yes, Gen Z and millennials, right? Younger generations are more excited about being their own boss. But that's, in all honesty, a lot of those people, the true reason they want to be their quote unquote own boss is mainly due to social media. That's 99% of it. Main reason is because of social media. But the other little 1% of it is that from an overall package standpoint, they say, hey, I might take a hit in income, but they get the flexibility in hours. They don't want to answer. They don't have to answer somebody, things like that in their mind. Not that they don't have to answer somebody, but they look at, I don't have a boss. And so they feel, even though they have the hit and pay, the equity they get of quote unquote making their own schedule and being their own boss and being able to stay on social media, they think that that's better than actually having a job, which most of the time they're wrong about. And a lot of times they're struggling financially. Now, if you want to start a side hustle, that's one thing, which would be the recommendation: have as many streams of income as possible. But when you're out here just quitting your job to be your own boss and start a business, you don't know what you're doing, that don't make no sense. Excuse me. All right. Despite 3 whiplash, including whiplash inducing years of an unpredictable economy, right? Young professionals, right, more confident in their abilities, leaving their current job for a better role compared to the start of 2022. I'm the same confident in my ability to continue to get better. You got to put in that work. Okay, much of this optimism can be credited to the resilience that Gen Zers and millennials had developed to navigate the chaotic conditions that started their careers. Yes. Andrew Seaman, managing editor for jobs and career development at LinkedIn, says, referring to the COVID-19 recession and the Great Recession of 2007, respectively. No sponsorship to anybody I mentioned, just so I cover myself. Yeah, if you were out here as someone who lost their job during the pandemic, but not due to the pandemic, right? Because I was a contractor. My contract ran out at the end of March in 2020, and I found that out in February 2020. I'm like, okay, I was getting a new job. I might be out of work for a month or whatever, but I got the money saved up. Whatever it is, it's cool. I didn't think a pandemic was gonna start. It was like, oh, so I'm like, now, now the level of resiliency. Then I'm like, oh, I can always, when I figured out how I was able to get, I had multiple different job opportunities that I was able to get. I ended up deciding on the job that I just left. But yeah, now I don't worry at all about being able to get a job. But again, I'm in tech, got a degree in comp sci, working on the cloud certification and things like that. I do full stack. So you have to have the skill set / be in a field, where you can always quote unquote get a job. So those of you, fields that aren't as good, you got to deal with that. But I don't worry at all now. It's like, how many jobs, can I have, more so than will I be able to get one? These generations are used to economic turmoil, right, and the roller coaster conditions of the labor market. He explains a lot of younger workers understand that their jobs aren't secure and they might have to find a new one tomorrow. True. That kind of attitude can breed confidence in a person because they're prepared for the worst outcome. Yep. And that's it. All right, boom. That's it. Locked and loaded. Again, Gen Z and millennials are leading the big quit in 2023, while nearly 70% plan to leave their jobs. And again, this is by Morgan Smith, January 18, 2023. Yeah, look, I mean, I was explaining the whole time I was going through the article. If you're in a situation where you're in a good job field, or at least you have a great skill set for your job field, as someone, since I do full stack, I can, for those who know what that means, it means when you go on a website and it looks all nice, right? That's the front end. Then when you know all your information, your data, that's on the back end, real short. I develop on both sides of that. And they're two different jobs. Being on the front end, where information, what you see, and being on the back end for the data, that's two different jobs. And someone's full stack, they operate in both. So it's like, okay, I'll just, if I need to switch to one or the other, which never be the case, it is what it is. And then on top of that, continue, get more skill sets from a cloud perspective, as you can easily see where the future is going. If you do in the tech field, go ahead and get on Chat GPT, make your life easier. It costs some money, but GitHub Copilot is some crazy stuff out there now in an AI standpoint. Make your life easier, but if you have the skill set, then switching jobs kind of just is what it is. It's just how the current economy is right now. We even see it at the higher CEO levels. I mean, if you go on LinkedIn and you look at people's profiles, people aren't staying at jobs for 10 years anymore, barely 5. I've yet to work somewhere for 3 years. There's no shot at my current employer because I actually love my current job. But it's hard pressed that you actually see someone stay somewhere for 10 years. I mean, the person I know who's worked the longest somewhere is probably my mom. She's been at the credit union. I think she might be at 20. I know she's at 20 years. She might be coming up on 25 years. So, that kind of is what it is. But, if you're in a situation where, all you're doing essentially out here just making money and using the job for benefits and you get nothing else. My mom she does have a pension at the credit union. It's nothing really to change jobs out here for millennials and Gen Z. It's just the way it is out here. But if you do, it's kind of hard because sometimes you do get in a good company where they are investing in you. The benefits are good, the money is good, but then you start looking at your resume and you just know, depending if you're a contractor, technically you're on 1 year contract every year, even if they sound like a 5-year. But regardless, you're supposed to always brush up on your resume. Even your job is going to tell you to update your resume usually, semi-annually, usually around every 6 months, right? They're going to have some type of I wouldn't say database, but they're going to have something where they have everybody's resume, from the contracting side, so they can see the skills that they have. So you got to keep your resume up to date just from your current job standpoint. And if you go, on LinkedIn or you go on Indeed and you update your resume, they're able to search it right now and everything like that. Keep your skills up to date. And you think about social media, which LinkedIn is. It's social media for jobs, right? And the people go, they can see you, right? They don't see your friends. I mean, they can't see your friends list, your connections, but they see your skill set, which, they see your pictures, or they see your resume, they see what you can do. And then somebody, right, they shoot they shot. And sometimes these shots, they got a lot of dollars in them, right? And so that's just the economy that we're in. It's not even because back again not even 30 years ago, but 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, you couldn't have an employer just come and say, hey, we want you to come to our company. It didn't work that way. And I live in Maryland. Now anybody across the whole world can contact me on LinkedIn and talk about a job opportunity, right? Versus this is 50 years ago. If I lived in Maryland, nobody from California would be asking me to do a job. How am I going to work in California, right? It's literally not possible. I have to move there. So that's just the type of economy we're in. And, if you're in a situation where it's time for you to change jobs, just start, preparing from an interview standpoint, sharpen your skills so that you're ready for the interview. And if it makes sense for you to transition. I mean, at the end of the day, go out here and get this bag. That's why I mentioned, you have a contract with your employer. All right. And if you're in one of these fire at will states, let me see. How many fire at? Oh, it says, I gotta share a screen. It's because it's interesting. See, and this type of thing is just like, why do they say it like this? Like, I don't, if it's everybody. It says that all 50 states and DC are at will. All 50 states in the US and Washington, DC are at will employment states. However, some states have exceptions. One limitation is the public policy exception. Okay, it's all states, but not all states. Shout out to Allstate, no sponsorship. The states that do not, 42 states plus Washington D.C. have the public policy exemption in place. States do not are Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana. Okay, let me distract. Okay, but in short, this is saying that most people are in a at-will state. There's some contingencies, as you can probably imagine. But regardless, that's saying like, look, you have a contract with your employer, right? And when you sign that contract, and when you sign your offer letter, so say which is a contract, you're saying you're going to do whatever work it is for X amount of dollars. Now, obviously, you get increases, bonuses, throughout the year over time. And you get to the point where you're saying, hey, for this work, the work that I'm doing, this is my compensation level. Or I just went out and I tested the market and I can literally just do the same. If I do this for another company right now, they're going to give me a significant amount more money, right? Over a 10% increase than what you guys are giving me. Why would you not leave? Why would you stay? And then, if your company doesn't want to match or there's some friction, then again, look, again, at will state, if you're again Maryland, DC, Virginia area, in Maryland, you can just be like, I'm gone. So, you ain't got to tell them nothing. It is what it is. So that's it, y'all. Locked and loaded. Again, make sure you like and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. Leave those rating reviews on the podcast platforms as well. I knew I forgot to do something. I forgot to give my information for myself and Jordan. Jordan, my co-host. You can follow him at StopStallingJ, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. His business page is FinallyFit. 06 on Instagram, and FinallyFit on Facebook. His website is FinallyFit.live. You can go on there and sign up for the virtual training sessions, 5:30 a.m. Monday and Wednesday, 6 a.m. Tuesday and Thursday. Again, virtual training sessions. We talk about money on here, but Wealth Wednesday, the most important part of your wealth is your health. Health is wealth. You got to make all this money, then you'll live long enough to spend it, or you die and everything's messed up and you ain't have, your estate set up. You need to take care of your health. All right. I talked about getting the physical and things like that. Y'all got to take care of your health. All right. Then for myself, I'm sideline_Cory, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And then my financial coaching information is in the show notes. So if you guys want some more information on how you can get a new job, what it looks like, you get a new job, right? Your tax situation is going to change, right? You might have better 401k or 403b benefits. You might need to look at, what you're investing in, things like that. Not a financial advisor. Come on over and I'll get you set up. It's not a permanent service, but I'm definitely gonna get you right. Turnaround time as far as you having significantly different financial situation in this 90 days top. But you gotta listen to what I say. Don't be out here thinking you know what you're doing. Why you gonna pay me money to do what you want to do? But yeah, it's not gonna be no year. I ain't gonna have you doing all this crazy stuff unless you have a crazy situation. But I'm trying to help you get right as fast as possible. No filler, a plan for your particular situation. All right. And then I had to think, because I got the white t-shirt on for the YouTube listener, people watching on YouTube, as you can see. I don't think I've ever worn a white t-shirt. I always had a whole bunch of white t-shirts in high school football. This is our uniform, quote unquote, for workouts. We always wear a white t-shirt. So I always had a ton of white t-shirts. I'm thinking, I don't ever remember putting in this white t-shirt. And I'm back in the lab now, studying for my search and stuff. So I'm like, I got the white t-shirt is a sign, shout out to Arundel High School, but is, you got a whole bunch of white t-shirts. We's in the field and on workouts, and it's time to put that work in right now. I'm in significant grind mode. So I was like, let me wear the white t-shirt today. But all right, y'all, again, student loan situation. I can't wait. I already told y'all what to do. Start making the payments. I told y'all not stop making the payments. Or if you did, put the money aside so you can pay it all off, in case you think the forgiveness was going to happen. And, it did happen from, they did some type of, and they didn't pass it, but, what's going to the Supreme Court right now. So at least if it does happen, you can have that money. But again, it's looking like it's leaning towards they're going to start back up again. They're scheduled to start back up, I believe, August 30th right now, because it's 2 months after June 30th. 60 days, should I say, 2 months, 60 days. So August 29th, August 30th, prepare for that. Obviously, the Biden administration, they can't extend it, right? I mean, he has the power to do that, at least we know, because he can continue to do it. So we'll see what it is when that happens. But, just prepare for that. We're around 45 days now. All right, y'all, that's it. Remember to save more, say less, keep making better your best. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.